Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's encode the logic. Hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Python virtual machine. What is Python virtual machine? Why do we need to learn the Python virtual machine? Okay, let's know about it more. Let us say this is a program which will print the area of the square. Let me run it. And the output is printed like this. Output is printed like the area of a square is 25. How it was happened, how it was printed on the ideally shell. Of course, we given the instruction. We initialized the s equal to 5, and then we computed the area, that is s into s, and then we printed the area of the square, that is area. So that's why it was printing. We thought of like that. But actually, this whole thing that the program execution and then the printing of the output will be taken care of somebody or someone. And that someone or somebody is the Python virtual machine. So what this Python virtual machine actually does? Python virtual machine is a program which provides a programming environment. Before going deep into this Python virtual machine concept, we need to know about two important terminologies in the programming languages. Basically, the programming languages are divided into two types of languages. One is low-level programming language, and another one is high-level programming language. The low-level programming language is the language which is understandable by the machine. Basically, the machine understands only the zeros and ones, the binary codes. So that is the low-level language. Coming to the high-level language, the language which will be understood by the humans. So this is the high-level language which will be easy to understand by the human. So, what is a source code? What is a source code? Source code is a high-level language. This needs to be converted into a mission code, which needs to be understood by the mission. This is the high-level language, which is understood by the humans, and this is the low-level language, which will be understood by the missions. The conversion of high-level to low-level language will be taken care either by the compiler or interpreter. So, the compiler or interpreter will be chosen based on the language design, the design of the language architecture. So the difference between the compiler and interpreter is the compiler compiles the whole source code at a time and it will generate the errors in the source code. And the interpreter interprets the code line by line, the source code line by line, and generates the error. And the C programming, the Java programming will use as the compiler for the conversion of high-level language into the low-level language. And the Python uses interpreter for the conversion of high-level language to the low-level language. Let's understand how the interpreter actually works. Okay, let's take this program itself. Let me make some changes in this code. S instead of equal to, let me keep minus and keep it here. Yeah. See here, S is not defined and A is also not defined. So what actually the error needs to be like? S is not defined and also A is also not defined. So we know the first line will be an error and the second line will also be an error. Let's see what will be the error. See, if you see, it was mainly focusing on yes. So S is not defined. Of course, A is also not defined. Why it was not showing? Because the interpreter interprets the source code line by line and it will generate the error. From the first line, the interpreter interprets the code and it found that S is not found and it simply stopped the execution of the remaining lines of code and it displayed the error. Okay, fine. Let me convert this. Let me change this to equal to itself. Now, let me write the program. Now we know that in the second line, there was an error. See, now it was saying A is not defined. So this is the task of interpreter. It will check line by line. So as I said, the interpreter converts the Python source code into the low-level language. Now we understood the high-level language and the low-level language and the tasks of the compiler and the interpreter. Now let's come to the Python virtual machine. Python virtual machine is a program which provides programming environment. The role of PVM is to convert the bytecode instructions into mission code so that computer can execute those mission code instructions and display the output. Now let's understand the Python virtual mission. See, this is the source code, which is a .py extension. The file name is ABC. That was given to the Python interpreter. This Python interpreter contains a lexer and a parser and also a compiler. There is a very important point. The Python interpreter also have the compiler. In Python, the interpreter itself consists of a compiler. Okay. See, and then the compiler will generate a bytecode. This bytecode will be saved in the format of abc.pyc. The extension of the bytecode is .pyc. And this bytecode is given to the interpreter, the virtual machine. So some interpreter. So this interpreter converts this bytecode into the mission code, nothing but the low level language, zeros and ones. And then this virtual machine will run this mission code and will generate a running code, nothing but our output. Then what is this lexer will do and the parser will do and the compiling will do? So the compiler will do. And also what will this interpreter do internally? So the lexer will break the lines of code into tokens. What is tokens? See, let us take this line, area equal to s into s. So this is the line of, that was the line of code. So the tokens are, area will be one token, equal to will be another token, s will be another token, into will be token, and s will be a token. So these are the tokens. So now the parser will uses these tokens to generate a structure, and that structure is called an abstract syntax tree. So simply it will be called as AST to depict the relationship between these tokens. What is the relationship between these tokens? Area equal to s into s. That was the relation, right? So that relation will be converted into a structural format, that was abstract syntax tree. So we need to draw the diagram as a tree, a hierarchical form. Area is equal to s into s. And this will be further divided. So we can divide this part also, right? So we can divide that also. Equal to area yes and yes. And this is the abstract syntax tree of the second line of the code. And now this compiler will turn this AST into a code object. And then the interpreter executes the each code object. This will be converted into a code object, and similarly remaining lines will also convert it into code objects. And then interpreter executes each code object. So this code object is nothing but the bytecode itself. So the bytecode will be given to the interpreter, and then the interpreter checks each and every bytecode line by line, and then it will convert that bytecode into a mission code, which will be understood by the mission. And then it will generate the output with the help of this Python virtual machine. I hope it was clear to you all, and I hope you get some inputs and the insights from this Python virtual machine concept. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this coding tutorial and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share it with your fellow coding buddies, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and of course, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Your support means a lot and it helps our community grow. Happy coding!